Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of The Tower. So I'm just in a farming run, just about to quit it and proceed with my tournaments. But before that, I would just like to address a question by Almightysage. So his question is about Galaxy Compressor and Multiverse Nexus farming. He currently has permanent Black Hole and permanent Golden Tower without the Multiverse Nexus. So I presume you're just running Galaxy Compressor then. Your death wave with Multiverse Nexus is at 70 seconds, and with stones and substats you can lower it to below 70 seconds. Okay, so the question is whether or not it would make sense to farm with Galaxy Compressor and some other module. And you have not seen anyone do it, so you're wondering if you're missing something, and at this point Multiverse Nexus seems useless. So Almightysage, I guess I'm not sure what your exact stage of progression is, but if I had to guess, you are probably somewhere in the mid to late part of the mid game. So somewhere in between phase 2 and 3 from one of the earlier videos that I made about the mid-game progression. And I was in a similar position to you. So I remember that for a significant portion of time, until I managed to get Galaxy Compressor and Multiverse Nexus both at Ancestral, before that happened, I was running with Galaxy Compressor and Dimension Core. And for me, it had better results. And the main reason for me at that time is because, as you mentioned over here, you can't have permanent Black Hole without Ancestral Multiverse Nexus and Ancestral Galaxy Compressor. So it seems like your Multiverse Nexus is probably at Mythic level, and that is what's preventing you from getting the permanent uptime on Black Hole and Golden Tower. Now in general, for farming you don't need permanent Golden Tower. It's fine if there is a few seconds of downtime, but what you want to do with coin farming especially is to ensure that all your bonuses proc at the same time, so you get the maximum per enemy that you kill during your window of ultimate weapon activations. Now with the permanent Black Hole, if I remember correctly, it caused me a bit of problem when I was working with the mythic version of Multiverse Nexus, and it was in the sense that at some point my Black Hole would go away, and if you are doing some form of an EHP build, there will be a lot of enemies clustered in your Black Hole, and when your Black Hole goes away, they just slingshot and hit your tower wall, and the amount of enemies could potentially break your wall and end your run. So what I did was exactly what you mentioned. For that portion of the mid game, I basically ran with Galaxy Compressor and the Dimension Core, but that was because my cooldowns on my ultimate weapons were synced up. So my Golden Tower still activates with my Black Hole, still activates with my Death Wave, and there wasn't much of a loss in coin if I compared it with running Multiverse Nexus at that time. But it did provide me the added stability of not having my Black Holes fall off. And I think in your case, probably you're in a very similar position. So maybe it might be worth just playtesting, trying out the Dimension Core build, see if it provides for a more consistent run. And if it does, then hold off on using the Multiverse Nexus until you get to Ancestral Galaxy Compressor and Ancestral Multiverse Nexus. So I kind of hinted at this in the earlier video that I made about the mid-game progression, where I said that initially when your cooldowns are pretty long and your stones are relatively limited, it's okay to run with a Multiverse Nexus if you have one, but in the middle portion of the mid game, you might actually find better benefit by switching out of the Multiverse Nexus, just because it overall makes your cooldowns a bit longer. So try that out, see how it works for you. If your tower is quite similar to where I was a while back, then you would probably see that there is not much of a detriment from running the Dimension Core. Of course, you might have to reroll your substats for a little bit, but if I were you, I would probably hold off on the rerolls until you get your Ancestral Multiverse Nexus and then just spend all your stones on it. Rolling core modules is extremely painful. Okay, so as mentioned, I would be doing my tournament runs, and I guess this would be a time to end the run, which is quite unfortunate. It's at 3000 waves. I'm probably lacking about, just if I let this run go all the way, I would get another 2Q or so, but it's okay, I can get it back later. So let's end the run. So there is a couple of updates to my tower. So firstly, these are my new stats. I've gotten about, I think, 120-ish Q per week now. And I also managed to clear my tier 15 milestone run yesterday. So I've got an extra 10% crit damage, which is great. Now, let's have a look at today's battle conditions. So Death Ray resistance, Thorns resistance, okay, Protector, Tank, Fast, Ultimate. Okay, now if we recall from the previous tournament playtesting video that I made, with the Fast Ultimate, I think there is no point in running Galaxy Compressor because just the damage is insufficient and the boss is just going to fly really fast to my tower. So probably what I'll do today is to run with the project funding. Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. And also, I think there was a comment from a while back that I think after wave 1000 or so, I should end my intro sprint just to get potentially more time to refill my energy shield charges and so on. So I guess for the 2 runs of today, the first one I would do just intro sprint all the way, and the second one maybe just try to micromanage the tower a little bit. I doubt the performance would drastically change, if anything. Okay, we also have Tank Ultimate and Protector Ultimate. And actually, I had a look at this battle conditions from the Discord server yesterday. So I did a couple of things to prepare myself. And this is what I did. So I got a few levels into Protector, Tank Health, Protector Radius, Tank Health, and Boss Health reductions. I managed to get them to level 5. And so the idea is that with fast enemies, I probably want to kill the bosses quickly, and since the bosses have more speed, then bosses having less health is probably good. Tank Ultimate, so reduction in tank health would also be good, and Protector Radius since there is Protector Ultimate. There's also Fast Ultimate, which is why I have this fast enemy speed over here. I should probably just gem rush this, so let me just rush this up. That is going to give me oh dear, I forgot to see what it is. 6% reduction in speed, which I guess would be better than not having any reduction. So I do need to put in a replacement. What should I put in? Well, let's see. Oh dear, I'm not sure what to put in here. You know what? Let's just put Amplify Bot cooldown. Okay, and in the meantime, I'm going to get my Swamp Radius, Swamp Stun, and Swamp Stun chance up. I think I would like to get it to at least level 20. And the reason for that is because for my ultimate weapons, if you notice, I've actually gotten 2 levels into Chain Lightning Chance. And I would like to bring this up a little bit more and eventually start working on my Poison Swamp duration and cooldown. Now the main reason for this is that Poison Swamp is actually really easy to get 100% uptime on it. I think it would cost something like 1,000-ish stones. So 1.5 weeks or 2 weeks of tournament runs and I should be able to get a good uptime on my Poison Swamp. Now Poison Swamp is, I guess with this low of a damage, is already doing quite a significant amount of damage from my overall. And the interesting thing is that it also adds stun, it adds slow, and with the Chrono Loop Ultimate Weapon Plus, it's also going to be an added source of multiple stuns potentially. So that is my plan. Now I should probably set the stuff up for the tournament. So death penalty, as usual, I equip this. I have my project funding, which I'll equip. I actually rewrote my anti-cube portal slightly to get rid of the taunts damage, but I got ancestral shockwave frequency now, and as a bonus I managed to get 80 seconds while rebuild. And you know, the most powerful stats of them all, 25% defense absolute. So I'm just going to keep it at this for the time being. And right, I need my dimension core, and you will see why I actually invested in my Chain Lightning, because for my dimension core, if you recall from the previous video, I wanted to get rid of that black hole duration. So literally what I did was I went to click reroll, and then I just started rerolling it one by one, and I got this +4 Chain Lightning quantity and +9% Chain Lightning chance. So I thought, well, what the hell, I might as well just go more into Chain Lightning, simply because now I no longer have that Smart Missile cooldown reduction, so I'm lacking in damage, and since my Chain Lightning damage is already pretty good, then I should probably try to get the chance up in order to, I guess, carry me further in tournaments. Now in my farming runs, I run it pretty much AFK nowadays, so I think maybe with the Chain Lightning damage I might be getting slightly less coin overall, but I'm not really coin stuff, so I think it should be fine. In terms of my enhancements, these are where they are at. Since it's tournament day, I guess I can get this to 1.9. Might as well get this to 1.72. And this is my utility tab. Let's get one into cells. And this is my defense enhancements. So nothing much has changed since in terms of the defense side, but I got a couple of levels into damage crit factor and super crit multiplier since the last tournament. Now since I'm running project funding, then I guess it would be good to get my range maxed out. Okay, and I need to set up my tournament cards. Oh yes, so in the previous set of tournament results, I got another card slot from the vault. I still don't want to save up 8.5k gems just for this slot. It's not really worthwhile to me, at least for now, but eventually I might get it. I just want to work on my modules for a bit first. So I guess I still don't want to touch Wave Accelerator, so there's less enemies, and also I don't want to touch Enemy Balance, so there's less elites. So I guess I can just put Crit Coin for this last card. It shouldn't really affect anything. And alright, yes, in terms of my vaults, I received a question from WM Mao, so I'll put the question up, and he asks, how do I get the 10 gems every add gem reward? So it comes from this vault upgrades. It comes from the add gem stack times 2, and then we get to times 3 and to times 5. And so basically what it does is that every few minutes you get that plus 5 gems that you can click on. With the 2 stack, you can claim up to, it can stack twice, so you can claim up to 10 gems. With the 3 stack, you can claim up to 15 gems, and with the 5 stack, you get to claim up to 25 gems. Overall, it should still give you the same number of gems, but it just means that I don't need to click my gems as frequently as you do. Okay, so I think that is it. We should be ready for the tournament. Let me just make sure once again. So modules, I've got death penalty, project funding, anti-cube portal, and dimension core. I have my range set up to the maximum, and for my cards is under the tournament presets. Okay, I guess we are ready to get into the tournament. Okay, so we have started with the tournament. As usual at the start, I guess we do need to level up our level skips, and also I'm going to change my target priority. I think the main difficulty for me is still juggling the ranged enemy, so that's going to go up top even though there's no range ultimate. Next, I'm going to want to get rid of fast enemies, and I guess I will put boss, tank, protector, and elites. Now let me just think about this. No, actually I want protector in front, and maybe elites in front as well. Tank enemies, I can just sort of deal with them whenever. But I want the protector up. The protector killed quickly because it would potentially prevent the range from being pulled by my chronophil or something. I'm not sure how the protector ultimate works, which might potentially kill me. So I think I will stick with this for the time being, and we see how it goes. So as usual, starting part, just upgrade all the items. Oh, and yes, I do need to set my orbs. So since there are ranged enemies, I will probably put the orbs at my tower line and hope that that helps to deal with trimming some of the enemies down. You can see my black hole is significantly smaller nowadays, just because I no longer run that plus black hole size substat. And if you see my poison swamp, I do need to get the radius up slightly. Well, not slightly, quite a lot, because my swamp is now looking very sad compared to my tower range. Currently I am running 132 meters of range. Okay, it's wave 800, and I guess what I'm going to do, because I noticed that I'm not having much issue with the common enemies, is I think I would like to lower my orb distance to somewhere in the inside. Maybe let's try 82 meters for now, because I noticed that the bosses, they kind of come in very quickly and then they get hit with the energy net. And since there is no orb resistance today, then I guess having my orbs closer to my tower means I get added boss damage from orb hits. And I think that would be a more useful strategy. So that should help reduce the boss's health even further. Let's try 71 meters and we see how we go. Okay guys, it's wave 1360 and I finally taken the first hit on my energy shield. This is so far going much better than I expected. Oh, there goes the second charge, which means that demon mode is going to be popping soon. So I think so far the run has been going much better than I expected. I certainly did not expect to get to wave like 1400 with this build under the fast ultimate. I guess that's just because my chain lightning damage is already so developed. Now that I'm increasing the damage, probably it's just going to help out a lot more. Now as you can see, demon mode has popped. I'm still taking hits from the boss, so it's probably not going to save me for very long. I guess we give it by the time we get to wave 1500 or so, I'm probably going to be dead. Now in a situation like this, I'm actually thinking that intro sprint mastery might in effect do better than say the cancellation of intro sprint. And the reason for that is because, as you can see, even though my chain lightning is certainly quite strong and it's doing a lot of damage, it's not a priority target ultimate weapon, so it kind of falls short when compared with smart missiles because of the lack of smart missile amplification. So if I were to stop my run early, basically what that means is that I won't be getting that many bosses, but as you can see, for this duration of my demon mode, I'm actually getting so many extra waves, like 90 waves in addition for the demon mode. And okay, finally dead. So wave 1520, not going to stay at rank 2 as usual. Let's have a look. So goldfish over here, very similar position to myself, but I think goldfish can probably push their tier 18 a lot more. Nashe, Olive. Oh, this guy, I heard that he is very good from, I think it was from one of Crowbar Zero's episodes. So probably he's going to top the run. We'll check this out later. So the next run is to, I guess, stop my intro sprint once I get to wave, I think it was 1200 or so, where I started taking damage. So then I guess I'll stop my intro sprint once my wall breaks later on after the wave 1000, and I guess we can micromanage from there. And I'm not sure how much the difference would make. I don't think it would make any difference, but we shall see how it goes. So let's go collect the free ticket. Okay, we're just about at max heat, and my wall has just popped. So I don't think I would need to worry about cancelling intro sprint just yet. Maybe I'll give it another 100-ish waves. So I'll cancel it at wave 1200. And that's just because now I've got the added damage from Berserker to probably hold off for a couple more waves. Okay, we're just about at wave 1200 and I'm going to cancel my intro sprint now. So I guess that means I should use my demon mode just to get the damage buff. I hope I'm doing this right. Yeah, no reason for me not to use demon mode, because then I can delay when my shield charges are actually being consumed. Okay, so let's pop demon mode off. Okay, it appears that I've taken a hit. I'm not sure from what. It's probably going to be like a fast enemy or something. I guess if I was being optimized, I should probably lower the game speed, but I think it's better to keep the speed for this particular test just so that the only variable that I'm changing between the previous run and this run is whether or not you should cancel intro sprint mastery early. So certainly cancelling intro sprint mastery earlier has given me enough time to recharge my energy shield as well as my wall. But in the case of intro sprint mastery, because we get a boss every time we jump by 10 waves, it wasn't giving me a chance to restore my energy shield charges. But that being said, for the intro sprint mastery version, because when my demon mode procced, waves were still increasing in increments of 10, that allowed me to, I guess, push for an added 100 waves or so during the duration of my demon mode. So I think it would actually be very interesting to see if the added time that I can save is actually worth cancelling the intro sprint mastery for, if that makes sense. Okay, it's wave 1360 and as you can see, I've been taking some damage on my energy shields, and one thing I noticed that is different from intro sprint mastery is that now, because there are so many waves that I have to clear, there are a lot more enemies that I have to clear, and I guess that means that there is more opportunity for fast enemies to buff range enemies who can then shoot me and take off my energy shield targets. At this stage, I'm still not very sure if the performance would be significantly better. I really like this new chain lightning thing. The animation looks so cool on the screen. My screen is just filled with squiggly lines all over the place. And I should clarify something. Like, over the past few videos, I mentioned quite a bit about having development in your smart missiles and so on. It is not that I think that chain lightning is a bad ultimate weapon. It's I do think that chain lightning is great, which is why my chain lightning damage is extremely high. The main reason why I'm talking about smart missile development is because for quite a while, I think in the early stages when you're trying to move into a glass cannon build, focusing on killing bosses and being able to kill bosses is probably going to be the biggest challenge. And while chain lightning damage is great, it does not have the smart missile amplification that smart missiles provide. And so I think, at least for people in that stage of progression, having development in your smart missiles is going to make your life a lot easier, because it provides very bursty priority damage. It is also for this reason that for my dimension core, I would like to swap the last substat to be one that is smart missile focused. So the idea that I have now is I've got that 10 seconds added duration for chronophil to deal with the battle condition that reduces your ultimate weapon durations. Secondly, I've got this added 4 chain lightning quantity to help deal with the armored battle condition, because if you remember in the first playtest run that I made, it was with an armored battle condition, and Project Funding actually did significantly worse than Galaxy Compressor for that particular run. I don't think that I need the added chain lightning chance. Sure, it would be good in dishing out more damage, but since I'm also going to be adding some levels into my chain lightning chance, then I think that final substat could be better spent elsewhere. And what my current dimension core is lacking is something that allows me to deal bursty priority damage when needed. So I think that trying to get that back down to the -6 seconds smart missile cooldown, if I can ever get it again, is probably going to be the best option for me. And I think that in general, this train of thought should be something that everyone, I guess, figures out what is best for themselves, because everyone's tower is different. And I think a week or two ago, I was asked a question about whether or not I'm able to do like a tier list for each substat, and whether it would be useful. I think rolling substats, yes, there are certain substats which are obviously better than others, right? Case in point, defense absolute is terrible. So we probably don't want stats that give us these kinds of terrible stats. However, beyond that, for the vast majority of the substats, it really depends on what you are trying to achieve for your tower. In my case, I got rid of the smart missile cooldown because I felt that the added duration on my chronophil would be something that would most benefit me in my tournaments. But it could be different for every individual. Okay, we are about 100 waves, 90 waves away from the intro sprint version, and as you just saw, the boss that just came took 2 stacks of my energy shield, and that is just because there is a thorns resistance, right? My thorns deal 11% of their regular damage, so I'm not able to deal enough priority damage to this boss in order to let it die in one hit. So at this stage, it's really doubtful that the cancellation of intro sprint mastery is actually going to yield a better result. My guess is that the next boss that comes is going to proc my wings. They would definitely make it through my wall. They will take off one shield and then pop wings. Okay, there goes wings. We are still about 60 waves behind. Okay, there goes Nuke. So I think it is safe to conclude that cancelling intro sprint mastery was actually a detriment to the overall performance in tournaments. This is extremely good news for me, because that means my tournaments are not going to be taking very long after all. I'm not going to be cancelling intro sprint mastery. Okay, so let's have a look at the overall stats. I presumed that with the earlier run, this would be at something like 20 minutes, slightly under 20 minutes. So you can see it's really doubled the length of my run. Swamp damage is considered, all things considered, given that mine is only at 20 times damage, doing very good damage. For comparison, it's like doing half of my Ren armor. And smart missile damage 43 and not very good. But look at my chain lightning, 6.21D. This is insane. And I guess it's to be expected given how many quantity, how high my chance is, and the overall damage multiplier on my chain lightning. So these are the rest of the stats. Feel free to pause and have a look at whichever you would like to. And okay, so overall final ranking, I guess I should be staying at rank 3, maybe rank 4. Maybe there might be someone who suddenly just climbs up. I wouldn't be surprised if the dude catches up. And tier 16. Yeah, so I think the overall ranking would be definitely Olive Oil is going to get first. I mean, tier 18 with 3000. Goldfish is at 121 relics. It's got slightly lower waves than I do. I'm at 116 relics. So I presume Goldfish has got a lot more accomplishments than myself. Probably this means that if he wanted to actually push tier 18, he's probably going to be mid 2000s kind of range. But probably he's just waiting till he can get to 4500 to clear tier 18. The Duke might potentially push me down. So 121 relics completed. Ooh, is this like a developer? Well, I'm not sure. Now potentially that means that I'll be at rank 4, but you know, overall it's not going to make a difference in my overall income. Okay, so just to conclude, today we did a project funding test for tournaments. Both runs were identical except that one I cancelled my intro sprint mastery and the other one I didn't. The net result is that the run that cancelled intro sprint mastery early ended up performing worse. And the main reason for that is because when I activated my demon mode under the intro sprint mastery version, it is due to the harmony tree perk, which is this one over here. So demon mode will activate to save the tower from a killing blow. That meant that I was only activating the demon mode right at the end of my tournament run, after second wind had procced. Now because demon mode has I don't know how many seconds of activation, like about 10 waves of activation typically, and because I was jumping up at increments of 10 waves each time, that allowed my demon mode to basically stay active for the duration of 100 waves. And probably that is the main reason why I ended up getting about 60 waves more in the case where I did not cancel my intro sprint mastery. So hopefully you guys found that helpful, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.